All right, it is SEC Media Days Look Back Day 3, and I got Richard Zane with me, David Nuño in the house. We're going to do the coaches here first. We had a lot of heavy hitters. Let's see, Jimbo Fisher, Mike Leach, Nick Saban. Who else did we have?
Clark Lee.
Clark Lee, who had a great suit on. We're going to start things off with Jimbo, who was great, and I thought one of the more pleasant moments of the press conference, he had a lot of them. He owned the day, was the fact.
Absolutely.
He was great, wasn't he? But I loved his little exchange when they asked him about his comments at the Houston Touchdown Club, saying he was going to hopefully beat Nick Saban's ass, is the word I'm going to use, ass.
No, I don't have any regrets. That's what we're here for, isn't it? Isn't that why we're here? Isn't that why everybody's here? That's what makes this league this league. That's what we expect to do at Texas A&M. And and saying all that, I have the utmost. Nick and I are friends. We've known each other a long time, coached together. We're from the same world. I mean, if that makes any sense. I have the utmost respect for what he's done, how he's accomplished. He's the standard, and they're the standard of what you have to play to. And that's what, just like we have a standard when I was at Florida State to go take over the ACC and go win a national championship. That's our standard here, and you have to play at that standard. And they have set that standard. It's what great teams do. And then you got other teams that want to match it, want to accept that challenge to go play at that level and play them and be able to compete with them and beat them. We have to play them each and every year. So we're looking forward to playing them, but at the same time have the utmost respect and understand me sitting here saying we want to beat them doesn't beat them. We have to develop the skills, the habits, the practice habits, to get the right players in the right place, coach the heck out of them, let them play, and be able to play those games and understand how to play those games. And how you do that is at Kent State is Alabama. Colorado is Alabama. New Mexico is Alabama. You play at that standard all the time, so you play big games. That's how we were able to have so much success at Florida State and the rivalry games, the bowl games, the national championship games. Listen, there's a standard you play. Your opponent has nothing to do with how you play. You play to your standard. The standard is the standard of excellence, and you have to meet that standard. And it doesn't matter who your opponent is. They have set a high standard. We have to play to that standard each and every week. So when we play them, it's like playing another game. You have the respect for them. I have the utmost respect for Nick and his program and everything he's done. That's what we're here for, why we're here, and what we expect to be able to do. And that's the way we're going to approach it each and every week. But we can't sit here and say it ain't going to do it. Everybody wants to win. Everybody talks about winning. We got to practice. Preparation wins games. And being able to not worry about the results, create no standards each and every day. And no matter who your opponent is, it's how you play. How you measure yourself, your sense of accomplishment, your sense of how you see yourself and what you want to achieve, and do you have the discipline and the self-discipline as a team, as a disciplined team, and the self-discipline as an individual player and coach to get where you need to go, and that's what it's about.
A couple of pieces of news came out today. Obviously, the first one more on a heartfelt side is that legendary head coach Bobby Bowden, who Jimbo Fisher succeeded at Florida State, has been diagnosed with a terminal medical condition, not sure exactly what, but Jimbo Fisher had a lot of great things to say about the Bowden family and Bobby in general. He also provided an update with R.C. Slocum on his health, says everything's going well in his fight for Hodgkin's lymphoma. And then, of course, the news of the day, sounds like the University of Texas and the University of Oklahoma are trying to weasel their way into the Southeastern Conference.
Good. I don't know if you've heard this, but there's a report in the Houston Chronicle that Texas and Oklahoma are inquiring about joining the SEC.
I bet they would.
What would you think about something like that?
I don't know. I'm just worried about A&M. You know what I mean? Listen, we got the greatest league in ball, so I mean, that's the choices they make or what they do. I don't know, but I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just worried about A&M. I'll control what I want to control here.
All right, now it's time for Alabama. Nick Saban, he was great today. He made you chuckle early on.
Oh, yeah. Nick Saban gets this bad rap as a guy who's pretty stone cold and has ice in his veins, but now he showed his human side today, joking with the reporter when asked about 12 personnel, pretending he didn't know what that was. If you think Nick Saban doesn't know what 12 personnel is, you're kidding yourself.
Yeah, and I like when you start talking to him about competition, how he keeps that competitive edge. He keeps things fresh, and he really broke down his philosophy over the years to keep them the #1 team in the country.
So if you didn't create value for yourself because you were ahead in the game or behind in the game, or you didn't play well against some opponent and others you got fired up to play against, then you're not creating the kind of value for yourself that you're capable of. So consistency in performance usually defines success. And that means you can play down in and down out at a high level, and you can sustain that level because you can persevere through good plays and bad plays and refocus and be able to play the next play.
All right, so now we move to the Pirate, Mike Leach, Mississippi State. Obviously, he's got a lot of history with Texas A&M in the years past, playing when he was at Texas Tech. But you like some of his one-liners talking about the expansion of the college football playoffs.
Oh, he is quite the entertainer. He said that there was a coup d'etat in Knoxville, Tennessee a few years ago, but he also said, you teased it, about the college football playoff expansion. He doesn't think 12's enough. He wants to go to 64.
I think he needs to slow down on that 64 stuff, but I will say he loves himself some Kyle Field. We all do, and he talked about his experiences there and his love for that stadium.
It's one of the greatest places to play on earth. I mean, and I've said this when I was at Tech. That's like, that's one of the Carnegie Halls of football there. I mean, that Kyle Field. Well, first of all, it's gigantic and holds a ton of people. The grass is impeccable, and then of course the Aggies are always highly motivated. So it's a fun place to play, and I've got some great memories at our games at Kyle Field over the years. It was a fantastic experience. It helped that we won most of them.
Two guys wearing a suit, David Nuño and Richard Zane, and you want to talk about Clark Lee.
Yeah, Clark Lee was here. He was the second coach to go sit on the stand today. And if you were watching SEC this morning with Peter Burns and Chris Doering, they kind of kidded Billy Lucci when he got up there saying that Clark Lee was much better dressed than he was. I honestly, personally, had no problem with Billy's attire this afternoon.
No, I thought Billy looked great out there. Well, the thing that I enjoyed hearing from Clark Lee, he was very refreshing. He's a former player from Vandy and whatnot, but his relationship with Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator for the Aggies.
How much time do we have? Because Mike, Mike's a dear friend. Mike, I connected with Mike at Bowling Green, was with him there for 10 months, back to Wake Forest with him, and we left together to go to Notre Dame. We were at Notre Dame for a year together, and he obviously left to go. In my 3 seasons with him, I learned more football than I ever could imagine. He's a guy that there's a shared ethos, a respect for people, a respect for the players, a certain style of coaching that has lifetime impact. Mike, I can't say enough good about Mike Elko.
All right, so day 3 comes to a wrap. You will also get the opportunity to watch the player version of this video. We'll talk to a couple of the Aggie players, DeMarvin Leal and Kenyon Green. But what's up for tomorrow?
So we got Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri, Sam Pittman of Arkansas, and Brian Harsin of Auburn tomorrow, closing out SEC Media Days.
All right, this is SEC Media Days Look Back, day 3. We'll see you guys for day 4.